5 in the morning. This is live TV on channel 112 on your Topstar decoder, and you can catch us on Facebook and on YouTube where we're live streaming. In studio with me, I've got Mr. Brian Mutambo, and he's the director of TechPro. TechPro Outsourcing is an information and communication technology company with a bias in online marketing and web services. It was created in 2016 to create content for websites and provide online marketing for SMEs and other marketing consultancy services. Mr. Mutambo, thank you for coming through.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Thank you.
Good.
Please tell me a little bit more about TechPro.
So, TechPro is a digital marketing company that operates mainly in the tourism space.
Okay.
So what we do is that we help tourism companies, tourism businesses to get their marketing, up there so that we get tourist arrivals increasing.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got this wild vision to get tourist arrivals in Zambia to 5 million per year. Because as it is at the moment, we have slightly less than 1 million tourist arrivals in Zambia. That gives us slightly below 2.6 billion US dollars in indirect, direct, and induced income.
Okay.
So the idea is that if we can get tourist arrivals to 5 million, we'll get somewhere around 13.2 billion US dollars in indirect, direct, and induced income. So it's a very, very important space to operate in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you the only ones in the space, or are you the ones spearheading?
So obviously the way tourism is a very interesting industry. Even the way you market tourism is very different from the way you market bubblegum. It's a very different animal altogether. So yes, there are specialized companies that market tourism and tour operators and so on, and there are many people, but being in the digital space of tourism marketing, I think there are very few people in that space in Zambia.
Okay.
What makes us even more unique is what we're working on at the moment, what we're calling the Zambia Tourism Marketing Initiative, which is a component of 3 different facets just meant to market Zambia's tourism.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And are you working on this just as TechPro, or you have other partners who have come in to work with you so that you achieve these targets?
So for the Zambia Tourism Marketing Initiative, we're working with companies like Sea Eagle, that is run by Seed. And I'm sure you know the Sea Eagle Group owns Wash and Afri Delivery and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
That's one of our partners. We have another media company called Muse Media,
Okay.
that we're also partnering with, and that's in the private sector. On the public sector side, and on the semi-public private sector side, we have the Ministry of Tourism and Arts. We're great partners. We've worked together for many years. The Zambia Tourism, Zambia Tourism Agency, we've worked with them since they were the Zambia Tourism Board as well. The Livingston Tourism Association, the Zambia Association of Tour Operators, the Tourism Council of Zambia, all these are partners in this agenda. Even the Economic Association of Zambia. So it's a question of village raising a child. So
Quite literally.
yeah, literally, because tourism is that massive. It impacts private and public sector equally. Yeah.
And it being a small sector that is growing, you actually need quite a lot of participants to actually pull
Yes.
this in.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why we're calling even other people. You see, tourism is interesting. There's food business in tourism, for example. So companies that make cooking oil have an interest in the tourism sector. Okay, companies that make flour, companies that make mealie meal. So this is one sector that, when it's down, economic activity in the country is affected at a wide level, because the tourism sector affects everybody, from transport, taxi drivers. Do you know that nightclubs are part of the tourism sector? They are what we call the night economy in the tourism sector. So if nightclubs are closed, it's not just the beer that won't be sold. The taxi driver that parks outside the nightclub won't have business. And so that's the chain reaction. And so the filling station down the road won't sell the gas that they sell at night. And so it's chain reaction. So it's a very interesting industry, very important, centrally positioned. And in this COVID-19 times, tourism has suffered the most because the moment they closed travel, it meant that jobs were going to be lost. And if you listened to the president's speech yesterday, he made reference to that. Over 7,000 jobs were lost in the wildlife sector, in the wildlife subsector of the tourism industry. Only a subsector, not the entire sector.
Not necessarily everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
7,000 jobs were lost. Okay, over, the tourism sector was contributing about 2.5% to the GDP, but it's as of the first half of the year, that just
It dipped.
yes, it just nosedived, and we saw so many companies, lodges and restaurants and so on and so forth, just literally closing because there's just nobody to buy.
Okay. In relation to COVID-19, do you see the tourism sector picking up? And when do you see this happening?
You see, what we're trying to do with the Zambia Tourism Marketing Initiative is to promote safe domestic tourism in COVID times.
So while focusing on local tourism at the moment?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good.
Because obviously international tourism, international tourist arrivals are not going to peak at the moment. Yes, we have opened the airports. Yes, we are operating under the new normal. But you see, for a tourist just to travel, they need a COVID certificate, and it takes a couple of days for it to come out, and so on and so forth. And people still have that feeling like, maybe let me
Not
stay
yet.
home.
Yeah.
All right. So we are hoping that the international tourist arrivals will pick up. But at the moment, we know for a fact that if we focused on domestic tourism, there is potential there. That is one area that we have not really focused on in the past. But if we just put the limelight there and did the right things in terms of marketing, it's a different approach, different way of marketing to domestic tourism than you market to international tourism. Totally different. But if we just picked up, and that's what we're trying to do. For example, what we're trying to do in this marketing initiative is that we're incentivizing engagement. So what that means is that if I'm an operator, okay, I can give you a free room if you really just stay interacting with me through this process.
Okay.
You could win a holiday. You could win a trip to South Luangwa or to the Kafue National Park.
In fact,
So-
we'll need to get into that because I noticed that you're actually going to be giving away prizes as you're
Yes.
running your initiative.
Yes.
I've come across a lot of people who are reluctant to actually look into traveling locally because it costs money.
Yes.
And to some extent, I've actually also looked into it a bit.
Mm.
And you find that a trip to Lower Zambezi, maybe because I don't know to look at the right places, will cost me a lot more than it would cost me to just fly down to SA and, have a little holiday.
Well, it's a give and take kind of a situation. I'll tell you what. If you've been to Lower Zambezi or deep in the Kafue National Park, I've been to both of those places. So even just to Livingstone and just watch the sunsets of the Zambezi River, okay? If you've been to those places, the experience. Let's not even talk about the costs for now. The experience is soothing. Okay? This is how we get rid of stress.
It is.
This is
but
how you refresh and you rejuvenate. But let's come back to cost, for example.
Yeah.
You have to save for holidays. Holidaying is not something that you do like the way we go to a club over the weekend,
Yeah.
because you've got change, and a couple of glasses of whiskey would just cost you less than 100 kwacha and you're on your way home. That's not how you do holidaying. When you want to take a holiday, you have to save. So you have to have a plan. So you could say, look, in December, we want to have our Christmas in Samfya, okay, at the Samfya beach. So then you find out, are we going to drive, are we going to fly, or are we going to get on public transport? So then you decide. You cost that. You find out, you call the place, you can even pre-book and so how much, and you can get a discount if you like. If you just negotiate with them, oh, I'm coming with my family or with my friends, what discounts can we get? They give you your discounts, and they are very generous. The one industry that you find people willing to give you discounts, willing to is tourism. They're just willing to be hospitable towards you, to treat you right and to make you happy. because that's what the industry is there for. So they give you these discounts and you plan. Then you know, okay, so 3 of us going to Safia, staying there for 3 days will cost us maybe 8,000 kwacha.
So we're going to see a lot more of these places charging us in kwacha and not dollars?
Yes, a lot of places already charge in kwacha actually, because there's a statutory instrument that instructs that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so if anybody's charging in dollars, they are going against the law.
Okay, so
But we
locals
also
will be
do
charging
know
kwacha,
that people would just convert from dollar to kwacha.
which still hurts us because right
It
now the
does.
dollar is hurting us quite a bit, isn't it?
It does. And that's a bit of a problem. But we have a lot of operators who have a local rate.
Okay.
So that what that local rate is always lower than the standard rate. It's meant for Zambians who have their an NRC or foreigners who are resident in Zambia. So that local rate is applicable. I know a place, for example, my late friend Richard Chanta used to run a lodge in Livingstone. It's called Chanta's Lodge. When you go there, they have a local rate.
Okay.
So, and there are many places like that, and it's just that the marketing hasn't been done really well, that people don't know. I have a lot of friends who go out of the country for holiday to Zanzibar, they go to Dubai, they go to France, you know, and they go to Oman. Do you know that the first COVID case in Zambia was a couple that was coming back from holiday from France?
No one will forget that one.
Exactly. So imagine if Zambians are flying out of the country to have holidays. I think my elder brother was having his 45th birthday in Dubai. So that's very close to home. My friend Sid, actually, the one was just in Zanzibar. So people go out of the country for holidays. So it is very possible that without, complaining too much, they can just redirect that and go to Siavonga, go to
Keep it
Samfia, just keep it local,
Okay.
because there's lots to see. There's plenty to see.
So on the 11th of November, you'll be hosting the Virtual Tourism Awards. Could you tell us a bit about it, briefly speak to us on it?
Okay, so it's actually on the 27th
Oh, it's on the
of
27th?
November
Okay.
when we are hosting the Zambia Tourism Awards 2020. We have about 8 categories, and the 9th category is a very special category because it's a Presidential Tourism Award that will be given out by the President himself on the 27th. Now, this is going to be mainly virtual, and that's because, see, when you're talking about tourism, like I said, it cuts across many sectors. And if you didn't have a problem of COVID, we're going to have a big event, probably targeting 500 to 1,000 people. And because operators are going to be there, people from the Ministry of Tourism, from the food industry, from the transport industry, from the entertainment industry, everybody was going to be there. But because of COVID, we are asked to do up to only 100 people. So it's purely VVIP, where and to be mainly streamed, to be streamed online and on national television and so on and so forth. But it's a very exciting program because what we are doing is that we are getting these different categories, 8 categories, from domestic airlines and 3-star hotels, 5-star hotels, lodges, backpackers, restaurants, and so on and so forth. So what we are doing is that we're getting operators in these different categories, and the public can begin now to decide. When we open our shortcode line, the public will begin to decide who they like most, okay, based on the videos that they'll see, the experiences that other tourists are having with these different experiences, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Okay. And with it being the first Virtual Tourism Awards, what are expectations going into it?
Oh, we are really excited. You know what excites us most is that it is an easy to understand concept. What it is going to do is that it's going to help market the operators, and I used a very interesting term earlier on, incentivized engagement. So whilst people are interacting with a shortcut to decide who's their best operator in the 3-star category, a 3-star hotel category, in the backpackers category, as they're interacting with that with the shortcut, they stand a chance to win holidays and prizes and stuff like that. So that's exciting because what we want to see is Zambians traveling to enjoy these experiences. Have you done a bungee jump?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So
It
have you
was quite
walked with the
exciting.
lions?
Yes, I have.
Oh, that's fantastic. Have you walked with the tigers?
We have tigers.
Okay. So have you walked on top of crocodiles? So you could you could win holiday trips. You could win experiences like that. Helicopter rides. You could, you could win a trip to South Luangwa, Lower Zambezi, or Samfya, or whatever. You could win a meal for two at your local hotel. You could win a weekend out. Maybe you could win a free ticket to a nightclub for a whole month. Okay, so they're different, and cash prizes as well. Smartphones, and we have partners who are bringing in. This is okay. Let's get people traveling.
Okay.
So we'll give out smartphones, so when they're out there, they can take selfies and share and so on and so forth. So it's exciting for us to give out these many prizes. And there's a partner that is about who's just about to sign a deal where someone might actually win a house. So we hope that goes through. Because yes, so that at least, what's the point? Why are we giving away all these prizes? We want to make sure as many people as possible know about the locations that they can enjoy in Zambia.
Okay.
The Ministry of Tourism just 2 weeks ago launched what they were calling safety protocols for tourism. So no one needs to be afraid anymore. You can actually go out and enjoy tourism, and it is very safe. If you've done a bungee jump, you've noticed when you're doing a bungee jump, there's no 100 people there. It's just you and the guys tying your feet, and then you just jump. So it's very safe.
It's you and faith.
Exactly. But it's an experience you cannot forget.
No, you cannot.
Yeah.
Okay. So the prizes are open to all locals or the international market as well?
All locals. Our focus is domestic tourism.
Just domestic tourism.
With this inaugural awards, which will go on, it's a legacy that will go on over the years, and it's because of COVID, it's going to be mainly virtual. So the only people that will be at that particular event is purely VVVIP and the media. So we are excited to just get everybody on board. But for now, it's purely domestic tourism. So just locals, and interaction is going to be via a short code, which is operated through the mobile network operators that are local. So it's not going to include,
So as part of the tourism marketing initiative, I know you will have a show that will be running for about 3 months.
Yes. So the way people are going to decide who wins which award in the tourism awards is through this show.
Okay.
So it's going to run for 13 episodes before the actual awards. So we're just about to launch that, and so what will be happening is that as you watch that program, you will see, maybe you'll see a hotel and an adventure company and so on and so forth. And if you like what you see, you just choose which one you're just giving a vote to. And just by voting for them because you like them or you work for them, and there are no limits. It's nothing like, no, I work there, I can't vote. It's just everybody. Let's get the word out. Just by doing that, you stand a chance to win prizes of different categories.
Okay. What can the viewers actually expect to see within the show? You mentioned that you'll be showing hotels and different locations. What, if I'm a viewer at home, what would entice me to watch this show?
The beauty of this country. Sometimes when you live here in Lusaka, in the suburbs, and they've done the roads, they look great, and sometimes you think that's all there is to Zambia. But there is more. Last year, between July and September, I took the trouble to move from Livingstone through Kalomo, through Dundumwezi, through the Kafue National Park, and back through Kaoma and all the way around back to Livingstone the other way. I just wanted to appreciate this country a lot more. It was my first time in the Kafue National Park, and it is amazing.
I've been told.
It is amazing. And this is what we want to showcase. A few years ago, we did a program in Livingstone, the Livingstone Tour, and we have videos on our YouTube channel, Tourism and Travel. Beautiful places that you can go to, beautiful experiences. There's so much that people don't know this country is about. The wildlife, the culture, the hospitality, the food. Sometimes we get used to eating our kapenta at home, eh?
Food, isn't it?
Yes.
You could be a food tourist, just literally moving from place to place.
Absolutely.
Tasting different foods. So, few last questions before we close up. How are you financing this venture?
Oh, well, we are financing it mainly from our own pockets.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely. And it's not easy because, see, when you have a dream, you've got a vision, you've got an idea, you have to dip into your pockets heavily and get to finance something like this. We're not doing this because, maybe somebody has put money down. We're doing this because there's a need. We have seen how other countries market Livingstone as if it's their own.
Yeah.
Already we have heard another countries marketing Kalambo Falls as if it's their own. Why? Because we are not doing the marketing ourselves. So we are saying, look, whatever it will cost us, let's own this country, let's own the tourism, let's market it. And the only way other people are going to come from their countries to here is when us ourselves
We
take
pull it
interest.
up. Yeah.
And we visit our own locations and love them, and then we can present them to the world. With social media and internet and so on and so forth, if you take a holiday, you take a selfie, you post it on your social media, and your friend in the UK sees it, they begin to realize, oh, okay, so I can actually go to Zambia
How
and have
much
fun.
is government putting into tourism? How much are they investing in the tourism sector? It is one of Zambia's biggest potential sectors.
Yes, recently we heard there was a 30 million package for the arts. The arts fall under tourism.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's investment going in there, and we know that there's a 10 billion kwacha stimulus package, and part of that package is very detailed. It's detailed in there that it has to go partly to the tourism sector. So there's plenty of money for operators to tap into to stay alive, because I think government is aware that this is the hardest hit sector. So that's why money has been thrown from different angles onto tourism to try and keep it up and running. And that is why we are partnering with the Ministry of Tourism in this initiative as well. You know, the idea is we get everybody on board. So it's not just going to be government, private sector has to come on board, and as private sector we're really excited to be in the driving seat.
Right. Closing remarks as we wrap it up. What you would like to put out there so that we are tuned in to this show. I feel like it's going to be very exciting, and people are
Yeah.
going to actually learn quite a bit about
Yeah.
Zambia.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be very exciting. Again, if you heard the president's speech yesterday, he gave a direct instruction, literally, to get everybody to use technology to try and help tourism to get up and running. And we're hoping that people paid attention to that instruction. And to close, I think it's a call. I'd like to make a call, a clarion call, to everybody. The mobile network operators, Airtel, MTN, they run the technology. They are the biggest offers of internet in this country. Let's get people excited about tourism. Everybody, the hotels, let's just get around the table and serve an industry. If one subsector lost 7,000 jobs, that's not a job. That's a lot of people affected. Many people, families that are affected from those job losses. So we need to, if we just come together and did things together, we could resuscitate the sector. So I think my call is to the private sector, to the public sector, to everybody in between, to say, let's come around this table, let's save this child. You know, tourism's got lots of potential. We have one of the 7 wonders of the world in Zambia. And even though we share the Victoria Falls with Zimbabwe, most of it is in Zambia.
And
So
we haven't even started talking about Northern Province.
exactly.
Okay.
And that's just what, so if we all came around this table, the media, live TV, and everybody else, the newspapers, if we come around this table and work together, we can serve a sector.
Okay. All right, guys, there we have it. This was Mr. Brian Matambo, and he was talking to us about the tourism sector. I think we should all try to tune in to this tourism show that's going to be airing on, you said, social
Mainly
media
online
and
and national TV.
national TV. We're going to learn so much about Zambia. We're going to see so many beautiful aspects of it that we don't normally see on a daily basis. So that'll be great. And also don't forget these prizes that you could win. Trips outside of Lusaka. I know we're all dying to get out of Lusaka. You could win cell phones, electronic gadgets, cash money, food. For all those foodies out there, there's lots of food to be won as well. Let's tune in. Let's support our local sector. Let's support tourism. Let's support our artists and push this initiative forward. We'll be back after the break. Thanks for watching.